Welcome back to another video by Bad Captain. In this video, we're going to talk about normal attack, counterattack, and skill damage. Now, no matter how long you've been playing this game, understanding this can be a little bit difficult, so we're going to break it down exactly how combat works in Kiss of War for these three concepts. So here we can see an enemy march, and we can see some of my marches out here. During combat between, let's say, these two marches, or any two marches, there will actually be two different types of attack that happen. They will simultaneously normal attack each other and counterattack each other. So when a march normal attacks you, you counterattack it. So I'm going to attack this enemy march. I'm dealing normal attack damage to it, and it is attacking me at the same time. So it's dealing normal attack damage to me. But we're also counterattacking each other at the same time. So there's twice as much damage happening here. Now, if I have another march that enters the battle, so maybe this one joins in, it is only going to attack this march. And that march is only going to counterattack it. So instead of two attacks happening simultaneously from each of these troops, only one is happening when I add a march to the fight. Now the same thing happens if I were to add even another march in. This march will only attack the enemy march, and the enemy march will only counterattack it. So the only march that's doing two types of damage are my march that first attacks that enemy march and the enemy march. So you can counterattack multiple marches at the same time, but you can only normal attack one march at a time per march. So if this march attacks this one, it will be the one that normal attacks and counterattacks it. And if another march joins in, it's only going to attack it. It will also only receive counterattack damage from that march. So where does skill damage come into play here? Well, skill damage is going to be that yellow bar that fills up. So we'll see it over here on the side. You'll see this little yellow bar on the side of my march, on both marches actually, that is filling up. That's going to fill up once about every 10 seconds. So you get about 100 rage every second of combat, and every 10 seconds that rage meter is full, and it will fire off the skill. The same thing for the enemy march here. It's filling up every 10 seconds. Generally, skill damage only does direct damage to one march, unless it says otherwise. Grace is a good example of this type of skill damage that does to multiple targets. It's a spread in front of her. It starts over here and kind of works its way over whichever way she's facing when she's in combat. So just be aware of that. But for the most part, your skill damage is only going to affect one target at a time. And it's going to fill up about every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds of combat, you've recovered 1,000 rage, and it will fill up that skill bar. So normal attack damage, counterattack damage, how often does that occur? Well, it occurs every second of combat as well. So every second is like one turn in a video game. So all of your combat damage, the attack, defense, health, it's all recalculated every second of combat. So hopefully this was helpful for you to understand exactly how the rage bar fills, the skill damage, how that works, and how attack and counterattack are going to interact in a normal attack with your troops.